What's up everybody, and welcome to round 1 of the RaceDepartment F1 League. This is my 3rd season and we are getting ready for the start. It was a dry qualifying session where I managed to qualify in 3rd place, but there was some rain expected, so that could shake things up a little bit in the race. I did choose to run my dry setup here as it was a dry start, and on 2011 game, yeah, you could get away with a dry setup in wet conditions as well. As the lights are coming up and the Melbourne Grand Prix is underway, I get off to a pretty good start, but Greek Don't Lie defends the inside line there from Platinum. Platinum outbreaks himself, hits Greek Don't Lie, and as Greek Don't Lie is recovering, I got hit there and in the wall. This is what you call a bad start of this new season. And dropping back to P12 now, as Platinum is also having a bit of problems. So not sure what happened to him, but he's obviously struggling for traction right there. And I do get that place back, so moving up to P11 and going to start and work my way up through the field, hopefully. As indirection goes very wide there into the gravel. These cars are very heavy, of course. It's a 100% race, so everybody must be careful not to run wide, brake a bit earlier, be a bit careful at the start. And meanwhile, I have catched up with Gunnar Gamble in P9, and there's a little train ahead of me, as you can see. Switching my fuel back to mix 1, as I think it would be wise to save some fuel, but Gunnar Gamble goes very wide there at turn 1 and 2. I was lucky to avoid him there though, but I can take that place for P9. And now on the back of Beza as we skip ahead to the end of lap 2. And cars in trouble there. It's RaceDepartment and Greek Don't Lie who probably had an incident, and as they wait for each other to recover, I take those 2 places gladly and up to P7. As we skip ahead to the start of lap 4, I go very wide here into the gravel, outbrake myself at turn 3, not a good thing to do, and RaceDepartment can take advantage of that. But as we get to the end of lap 5, it's Greek Don't Lie who catched up with us, and he's right on the back of me, and Beza goes wider into the gravel, had some contact, maybe was pushed a little bit wide by RaceDepartment, I think. But anyway, back into P7 now, but I got Greek Don't Lie right on the back of me, so it's helpful to get some aid of the DRS here in order to defend this position. But I go wide there as I outbrake myself, and Greek Don't Lie takes advantage of that, so dropping back to P8 now. But Greek Don't Lie outbraking himself as well there at turn 3. I go around the outside, and oh, that was not a good move by Greek Don't Lie to re-enter the track like that and take me out, but he understood that and he gave the position back, so good sportsmanship by him. Skipping ahead now to the end of lap 7, where I'm right on the back of Beza, and I will surely get the DRS this lap and maybe try and move into turn 1, but he's going to defend the inside line here, so I'm going to try and cut back underneath him, which I managed to do, it seems, but there is contact again, and that incident could have been avoided in my opinion, and I was not too happy about that, as on my screen it looked like Beza was re-entering the track in a bit of an aggressive manner, but his screen might prove different. Anyway, I'm up into P7 and looking to catch up with Tedger perhaps, who's running about 11 seconds up the road. As we skip ahead, 3 laps later.
Weather reports suggest light rain in approximately 10 minutes.
A little bit of radio information there. It's light rain expected in around 10 minutes. So right now I'm thinking of making a decision on strategy. Should I pit for maybe a short stint of options, or try and stay out for the rain? And yeah, the second option was my decision. I tried to go and make these tires last until the rain came out, and then switch to inters, as not to waste another pit stop. And you can see RaceDepartment is not thinking the same way. He's making his stop pretty early, choosing a different strategy, skipping ahead to the end of lap 13, where meanwhile I'm catching up with Tedger pretty quickly. In the space of around 5 laps I brought the gap down to 3.7 seconds, where it was about 11 seconds not too long ago. And my tires seem to be holding pretty well up to this point, and I'm finding some good pace here as Tedger is going to make his stop. Just like RaceDepartment, he's choosing to go for another short stint before the rain comes out. And as we're skipping ahead to lap 16, you can see the tire indicator there. My front left tire is wearing out pretty heavily, and the rest of my tires as well. So Greek Don't Lie has catched up and managed to get past me there, but goes a bit wide there. So he's also still a bit struggling, but he looks much quicker at this stage, as my tires are not in a really good condition. And we could see the Holy Sam also making a stop there before the rain came out, and that promoted me to P4. But RaceDepartment on his fresh options made a good decision apparently, as he closed that pit stop time. And on lap 18 now you can see it's starting to rain, so I'm thinking I don't want to risk a puncture as the front left is not looking that great, and I'm going to switch to inters now and see if that's going to work, as the track should be not drivable on slicks for much longer. A bit of a slow pit stop, as my front wing took some damage from the turn 1 incident on the first lap at the start. So my pit crew just placed a new front wing and some fresh inters. And coming back out in P10 here, I noticed that I'm going a little bit wide here, sliding around the track, and oh no, it's not a good time for the inters yet, perhaps. I think it was a difficult situation. Maybe I should have pitted for options and do a really short stint before the rain instead of choosing this strategy, but it was hard for me to judge really. As you can see later in the race, we had to make some more decisions strategy wise, and in this game I feel like it's really important to be on the right tire at the right time, but I didn't figure it out yet. As you can see, I'm very slow on the inters, and Gun and Gamble gets past me, so I'm down into last place really. Indrexen is really slow there. This is a strange situation, as I get an illegal overtake from the stewards. I have to hand the position back, and I just managed to do that with 1/10 remaining. But that was a strange situation, as there was no yellow flag or anything, so I'm not sure why I had to give that position back there. Meanwhile, we're skipping ahead to lap 24, a few laps later, and you can see the track is just really really wet now, and the rain is just pouring down heavily. I'm staying out too long on the inters, I guess, and losing a lot of time again by being on the wrong tire at the wrong time. Skipping ahead to the end of lap 24 here, and it's just undrivable really on these inters, and losing my front wing there as I spun off into the wall, losing more and more time. Skipping ahead now to the point where I've replaced my tires, my inters are gone and the wets are on. But there is a little bit of traffic as I exit the pits here, get some blue flags because So Solid, who's leading this race at the moment, already lapped me. So I'm really far behind the race leader. Back into P10 is not where I hope to be in this race. I'm really struggling to get the strategy right in this race as there's a lot of changing conditions. Meanwhile, I'm right on the back of Platinum here, who's running a P9. Also struggling a bit with these conditions, I guess. But up front you can see So Solid, the race leader, gets out of shape there, goes wide, and Platinum couldn't really avoid him, so by hitting him he spins him around. It's not really looking good. It seems everybody is just struggling in these conditions. Even the race leader is making mistakes, and side by side here with Platinum going for turn 1. I'm on the outside, and yeah, just another contact. Let's call that a racing incident, but it's yeah, not a really graceful display of the driving here, as we're making a lot of mistakes. But up into P9 as we skip ahead a little bit further into the lap, where again I'm losing traction there, even though I'm on the wet tires. My setup is just set up for dry conditions, and obviously it's not working perfectly in these conditions. And Platinum going wide there, another mistake, and I can take that place back. So we have a battle going on here for P9.
You've taken 9th.
Both making a lot of mistakes as I go wide again here into the gravel. Not feeling comfortable at all in these conditions. As we skip ahead a few laps later on lap 30, you can see I just understeer off here into the gravel on the wet tires, and it seems like the weather is improving a little bit, and yeah, it's probably again time to change tires. So I'm going to try and put some inters on. A 3.7 stop, not bad. And skipping ahead to lap 32, where I'm right on the back of Platinum again. He's having a battle in front here with a Virgin driver, I think, who goes very wide there. But we are a lap down to these guys anyway. Right on the back of Platinum now, as that is what you call an auto spin curb there. Skipping a bit further into the lap, where Platinum goes wide a little bit, was out of shape there at the chicane, and I can take that place. The end of lap 35, and you can see on the minimap Platinum is actually going for a pit stop there. I'm not sure what he's going to try, but he might try and go for slicks, as the sky is clear now. The weather is improving definitely. The sun is shining and drying up the track now. You can see Greek Don't Lie there had a little bit of a wide moment there, so I feel like the inters might not be the best choice at the moment, and I might take a risk anyway. I'm down into P9 and not much to lose, So I'm going to try and go for the prime tire and try and make that last to the end of the race, maybe.
The track is clear.
Coming out the pits in P9, and the question is, will these tires hold in these conditions? But the track feels very wet still, and you can see me sliding off there a little bit. I did manage to keep it out of the walls this time, but the track is still very wet and there is almost no traction, as you can see. Braking for turn 3 here, going wide into the gravel and giving the spectators a little bit of a gravel action. I'm sure they will love it. And a little slide too, why not? Skipping ahead now to lap 37, it's still very wet and I slide off again, damaging my front wing. So I guess it was not a really good decision to change to the primes that early. And like I said before, I was really struggling to determine what was the best tire to be on at what time. But putting on some options, and a few laps later it's finally dry, and I'm feeling a bit more comfortable, setting the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:28.5, and my setup was really quick in the dry conditions, I think. In qualifying I got 3rd place, and at the start of the race I felt pretty quick, and as you can see now I'm really starting to put in some quick lap times now with a 1:27.6, again the fastest lap of the race, and I'm a bit too far behind everyone. So the only goal in this race for me, and the only gain for me, is trying to get the fastest lap of the race, really, as Platinum is about 26 seconds ahead up the road. So I'm obviously not going to catch him unless something drastic happens to him. Skipping ahead now to lap 43, where I set another fastest lap.
Weather reports suggest light rain in approximately 5 minutes.
As I get a message on the radio, there's light rain expected in the next 5 minutes, so I was thinking, no, not again, not another change, and oh, as I just lose the rear there at the curb of turn 1. This happened to me in the practice race earlier, and it happened again. Not sure what is the deal with that curb there, but it seems like I'm taking it sometimes a bit too aggressively and just spinning out into the wall. And as we skip ahead to lap 47 now, Platinum destroyed the vehicle, as you can see on the bottom of your screen, little message there. So that is going to promote me to P9. That's probably where I will finish, because I'm a lap behind everybody else. Not a good start of the season, and a little bit disappointing after a good qualifying session. But as we head on to Malaysia, I hope to bounce back with a strong result. These are the race results, with a great performance by So Solid to take the victory. Greek Don't Lie got demoted to 2nd place after handed a 20-second time penalty by the stewards. Red Tabor finishes in 3rd, with Bessa in P4. This means Toro Rosso lead the Constructors' Championship. Then come the 2 Marussia, followed by Kex and Tadger. Myself in P9 with the fastest lap of the race, and TNG Platinum to round off the points. Not scoring any points this weekend is Indrexen, who retired, and Gonna Gamble, who disconnected. So we have come to an end of this commentary video. Thanks for watching, and see you all in Malaysia.